Physics class 11 chapter 6 work energy and power. Kinetic energy. If an object of mass m has velocity v, its kinetic energy k is k equal to 1 by 2 m vector v dot vector v equal to 1 by 2 m v dot v will be given as v square. So for any object of mass m, if it has got velocity v, then the kinetic energy is given by 1 by 2 mv square. Kinetic energy is a scalar quantity. Kinetic energy of an object is a measure of the work an object can do by the virtue of its motion. So in short, we can say that if an object is in motion, then it will have kinetic energy. Work done by a variable force. Figure is a plot of a varying force in one dimension. So in this figure we can see force which is varying in one dimension. Okay, this is a displacement, this is a force in one dimension. If the displacement delta x is small, the force Fx is approximately constant and the work done is delta W is equal to f of x into delta x. Now the displacement, this is displacement axis and this is force. Okay, so this is initial position, final position. Suppose the displacement delta x is very small, then the work done will be given by delta W equal to f of x delta x, and in this, when you are considering the displacement very small, we consider the force will be constant. We consider that it is a constant. Adding successive rectangular areas, the total work done will be W equal to sigma xi to xf f of x delta x. Now here I have shown only the one rectangle, but we can divide this curve, okay, the area under this curve, into so many equal length of rectangles, okay, having the length, suppose let us say delta x. So we can divide this into n number of rectangles having the length same, that is we can call it as a delta x. Then the total work done, okay, the total work done will be the summation of the, see here this is the area of this small rectangle, we can find it as f of x into delta x. Similarly, if I take so many rectangles, then it will have the area and that area will give you the work done. And now if you sum of all this area, then you get the total work done. Okay, that is written here, sigma xi to xf f of x delta x. Okay, starting from xi initial position to the final position, from initial position xi to final position xf. Okay, that is what I was saying, that starting from initial position to final position. So this gives you the area under this curve will give you the work done. Taking limit delta x tends to 0, work done is, now suppose in this summation we take delta x very small. Okay, here I have taken little more big, suppose I take very small approaching to 0. Okay, then what happens is W, that is total work done, W is equal to limit delta x tends to 0 sigma xi to xf f of x delta x. Now this limit of the sum will convert into the integration. So you can write integration starting from initial position xi to final position xf f of x, and delta x will be written as dx. This is in calculus. Okay, so what we have proved is W is equal to integration xi to xf f of x dx. So the work done equal to the integration of the f of x with respect to the displacement. Okay, so we can say that for varying force, the work done can be expressed as a definite integral of force over displacement. Okay, so this is when you have got the limit, you consider this as a definite integral. So this using this formula, we can find the work done by a variable force. Work energy theorem for a variable force. The statement is same as we have studied before, the work energy theorem, but this is for the variable force. The statement is the change in kinetic energy of a particle is equal to the work done on it by the net force. Mathematically, Kf minus Ki is equal to W. So this is change in the kinetic energy equal to the work done. Kf is the final kinetic energy and Ki is the initial kinetic energy, and W is the work done. Now we know kinetic energy K equal to 1 by 2 mv square. Okay, we just now defined that kinetic energy of any object of mass m and velocity v is defined as 1 by 2 mv square. So this formula I am using here. Kinetic energy of any object is given by 1 by 2 mv square. The time rate of change of kinetic energy, that means I am going to differentiate with respect to time. Okay, so dk by dt equal to d by dt of 1 by 2 mv square. Okay, I have differentiated this with respect to time. Now this 1 by 2 and m I consider as a constant. You take out of the differential, so you can write 1 by 2 m d by dt of v square. Now I am going to use the formula d by dx of x power n equal to, the formula is n into x power n minus 1. Okay, so we use this formula. But here with respect to x, and in this calculation we have with respect to time. So again you have to do v with respect to time. First I am going to do the power, okay, using this formula. So let us use here. So 1 by 2 into m as it is, I have written here, into v square. So I write v x power n. So n is here. So here n is 2. So 2 into v power n minus 1, that is 2 minus 1, that is 1. So 2v. And as I said, this is v with respect to t. So you have to do once again. So you can write here dv by dt. Okay, because v is done with respect to t. So 1 by 2 m into 2v dv by dt. 2 you can cut. So what you get here is mv dv by dt. Okay, and here you know that dv by dt is nothing but the acceleration. Dv by dt equal to a, the acceleration. So this dv by dt I have put here a. So this value is a. Here dk by dt as it is equal to mv. This is a. Now by Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. Okay, we know that F value is ma. So here ma is there, that value I can put as F. This is by the Newton's second law. So you can put here ma as F, and this v equal to F is as it is, and v, we know the formula for v. V is a velocity equal to dx by dt. Okay, so dx by dt is nothing but your velocity. So I put v as equal to dx by dt. Now here dk by dt equal to f of dx by dt. So both the side dt you can cancel. So here you get dk equal to here f and dx. Now integrating from initial position xi to final position xf. Ki will be initial kinetic energy and kf will be final kinetic energy. Okay, so I integrate both the sides. So integration ki to kf dk equal to integration xi to xf f of dx. Okay, now this integration I have given the formula in previous class, that is this is 1. So 1 power or x power, or you can write this as a k power 0 because 1 is there, right? So k power 0, and the formula is x power n, integral of x power n is x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Okay, so I shall use that formula. The formula I will just write for you here. That is, suppose here 1 dx, okay, with respect to dx. The formula is integral x power n dx. The formula says that x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Okay, this is a formula plus constancy. This is definite integral, so there will be no constancy. Okay, so here 1 is there. So when I want to integral this one, that means I consider this 1 is equal to x power 0, because x power 0 also is 1. So I have to do with respect to x, so I will use the same formula, x power n plus 1. So x power n plus 1 means x power 0 plus 1, that is 1, divided by 1. Okay, similarly I have written here integral ki to kf dk, right? So dk means here 1 is there. So if 1 is there, you can say that is k power 0 is there. So if you use the same result, you can get here k value, this answer. See here, integral of 1 dx I get as x. Okay, the answer is x. So if you get integral of 1 dx as x, then integral of ki to kf dk will be k. Okay, using that identity. Now we apply the upper and the lower limit. So k, instead of k, you apply first the upper limit. So k of f minus ki, the lower limit. First the upper limit minus the lower limit. So you get here kf minus ki, and this value integral xi to xf f of ds, we know this value is equal to w. Okay, from here we know that integral xi to xf f of x dx is equal to w. So this value I write as w. So what we have got is the change in the kinetic energy, that is kf minus ki equal to the work done, that is w, right? So this is the work energy theorem for variable force. Okay, that was the statement here. I have written the statement that the change in kinetic energy of a particle is equal to the work done on it by the net force. So kf minus ki equal to w. So that is a proof of work energy theorem for variable force. Work energy theorem is integral form of Newton's second law. Newton's second law is relation between acceleration and force at any instant of time. work energy theorem involves an integral over an interval of time. Okay, so this is like just comparing work energy theorem and Newton's second law. Okay, so in the first part we see that the work energy theorem is the integral form of the Newton's second law, and in the second thing we say that Newton's second law is the relation between acceleration and force at any instant of time, while work energy theorem involves an integral over an interval of time. Okay, so that is the relation between work energy theorem and the Newton's second law. Next we have got potential energy. Sometimes the symbol is used as capital U or capital V. The term potential energy means stored energy. So the meaning of potential energy, you can say it is stored energy. The gravitational force on an object of mass m is F is equal to mg, right? I am using the Newton's second law, that is F is equal to ma, right? So here, because of gravitational force, the acceleration is due to gravity. So I am writing, instead of a, I am writing g. So F is equal to mg. Okay, here I have used the second law of Newton, that is F is equal to ma. Here also F is equal to ma, but here because of gravitational force, acceleration is due to gravity, so g. Let us raise the object at height h. Now suppose I raise an object at height h, okay, of mass m. Suppose you are taking a ball and throwing it upward, okay, or taking it up to height h. Okay, so I am taking here an object. The work done by the external agency against the gravitational force is mgh. So the work done will be, see the displacement, I am taking up h. Okay, the displacement is h and the force is mg. So the work done will be force into displacement, that means mgh. Mg is the force and displacement is h. This work done gets stored as potential energy, and this work done will be stored as the potential energy in that object or in that ball. The gravitational potential energy of an object as a function of height v of h, it is the negative work done by the gravitational force in raising the object to that height v of g equal to mgh. Now here we are talking about the gravitational potential energy. For that, suppose that we are going to take it as a vh. Okay, the gravitational potential energy, suppose I call it as a v of vh, then it is a negative work done by the gravitational force, okay, against the gravitational force we are doing. So it is negative of gravitational force in raising the object to that height, and vh, so we can say vh, this is potential energy taking an object to height h, it is given as mgh. If h is taken as variable, then gravitational force is equal to negative of derivative of vh with respect to h. Now suppose we take h as a variable force, okay, variable changing, not force, it is a height, so we consider it as a variable. Then the gravitational force will be the negative of derivation of v of h, that is negative of derivative of this vh with respect to height, because we are considering the height h as a variable. So we can say F is equal to minus of derivative of this with respect to height, so dvh by dh. So v of h value is this one, I put here minus d by dh of mgh. Now mg will be constant and h with respect to h will be 1. So the derivative of this will be minus mg. Negative sign indicates that gravitational force is downward. So this negative sign shows that the gravitational force is downward. We know that gravitational force is towards the earth, so that is downward. When released, the object comes down with an increased speed. Now suppose you are releasing the object or the ball from the height h, then it will come down with increase in the speed. Just before it hits the ground, speed is given by the kinematic relation. Now suppose before it reaches the ground, we have studied the kinematic relation, kinematic equation. So the speed is given by those equations, kinematic equations, and it is given as v square is equal to 2gh. Now multiply both the side by 1 by 2 m. Okay, so I multiply here 1 by 2 m, v square equal to 1 by 2 m, 2gh. This 2 and 2 you can cut, so you can get here mgh. This shows that, you can see this is kinetic energy and this is potential energy. Okay, this shows that the gravitational potential energy of the object at height h when the object is released manifests itself as kinetic energy of the object on reaching the ground. So we can say that this is the kinetic energy which is manifested as the potential energy, or you can say that potential energy of the object when you are releasing, it is manifested into the kinetic energy of that object, because when you are releasing it has got a speed and it moves with the kinetic energy. So 1/2 mv square equal to mgh. Mathematically, the potential energy V of x is defined if the force Fx can be written as f of x is equal to minus dv by dx. Now, in mathematically, see, before we took V of x, right? Now, suppose the potential energy we take in a general as V of x. Then, we can write f of x, the force equal to minus of dv by dx. Okay, same thing we have done here. Okay, f of x, f equal to minus dvh by dh. Here we are taking the function of x, the displacement. Okay, so f of x equal to minus dv by dx, and v is the potential energy. Then integral, you know that f of x can be both the side if I take the integral. Okay, why we have to take integral? First you transfer dx over here, okay, dx transfer over here, and then take integral on both the side. Okay, so dx transfer over here first and integrate on both the side. So here with respect to x, or that is a position, so integral xi to xf, initial position to final position f of x dx equal to negative of this potential energy, initial potential energy Vi to Vf. So integral of Vi to f dv equal to this will give you Vi minus Vf. Okay, why? Because the integral of this using this formula 1 dx, so it is x. So similarly it is 1 dv, so the integral of this will be V. Okay, but you have to apply the upper limit minus the lower limit. So when you apply the upper limit, Vf minus Vi, but there is a negative here, so I have interchanged. So Vi will become positive and Vf will become negative. Okay, so it is done directly. I hope you understand, otherwise let's write it. So I have written this integration over here, integral minus of integral Vi to Vf dv. This integral is V by using this, that integral of 1 dx is x. So similarly integral of 1 dv will be V, and integral is from Vi to Vf. Okay, so first the upper limit, that is this negative as it is, Vf minus the lower limit Vi. If you multiply minus, this will become minus, so minus Vf minus a minus plus Vi. That plus Vi I am writing first and negative of Vf later. Okay, so it is written here, and this is the one, the proof or the calculation here. You can also write directly, because we know that integral of dv will be V. Okay, integral of 1 with respect to V is V. Integral of fx with x with respect to x is 1. Okay, so here integral of 1 with respect to x is x, not fx. Integral of 1 with respect to x. Okay, now here let us write the dimension of the potential energy. It is the same as the kinetic energy and the work done, okay, or the work. So dimension of potential energy is mL2 T minus 2. Then SI unit of potential energy is joule, capital J is used the symbol. This is also same as the kinetic energy and the work done, or the work. For a conservative force, delta V is equal to minus of f of x delta x. So if you have got the conservative force, then delta V change in the potential energy will be equal to minus f of x delta x. This you can look from here also. If I transfer this dx over here, I'll get this form. So and then negative you transfer, so minus f of x dx equal to dv. Okay, so that is one here, but here it is taken as delta v and delta x. Okay, here dv by dx, but if you transfer over here, you will get this type of form. So for a conservative force, delta v equal to minus of f of x into delta x. Example 6.4. In a ballistics demonstration, a police officer fires a bullet of mass 50.0 gram with speed 200 meter per second on soft plywood of thickness 2 cm. The bullet emerges with only 10% of its initial kinetic energy. What is the emergent speed of the bullet? We are given in the question V is equal to 200 meter per second, and the mass of the bullet is 50 gram converted to kg by multiplying by 10 power minus 3. Okay, so 50 into 10 power minus 3 is a kg. Now here the bullet is coming, the speed is given to, the velocity is 200 meter per second, the weight or mass of this bullet is given, and it is striking the wood and it is coming out, okay, this plywood, and it is emerging out. Okay, this is emerging out. Now initial kinetic energy of bullet is equal to 1 by 2 mv square equal to 1 by 2 mass of the bullet is 50 into 10 power minus 3 into the velocity is 200, so 200 into 200, right? So this, if you simplify, you get 1000 joule. It has final kinetic energy of 0.1 into 1000, okay, because they are given 10%. So 0.1 into 1000 gives you 100 joule, okay. If you simplify, you get 100 joule. If Vf is the emergent speed of the bullet, 1 by 2 m Vf square equal to 100 joule, okay. So emergent speed, if we consider as Vf, the symbol we use as Vf, then we can say 1 by 2 m Vf square is equal to 100 joule, okay. This is the final, so we can take this is the final kinetic energy, so 100 joule. This implies Vf square equal to 100, these two you transfer, so it is into 2 and this m will go in the denominator. This m value is the mass of the bullet, 50 into 10 power minus 3. Put the value, simplify and take the square root on both the sides, you get Vf is equal to 63.2. That means the speed is reduced by approximately 68%, not 90%. So that is solution for example 6.4. Example 6.5. A woman pushes a trunk on a railway platform which has a rough surface. She applies a force of 100 Newton over a distance of 10 meters. Thereafter, she gets progressively tired and her applied force reduces linearly with distance to 50 Newton. The total distance through which the trunk has been moved is 20 meters. Plot the force applied by the woman and the frictional force, which is 50 Newton versus displacement. Calculate the work done by the two forces over 20 meters. Here you have to draw the graph, plot the forces applied by the woman and the frictional force, okay, which is 50 Newton versus displacement. So what is given is you have to plot the graph of the force applied by the woman and the frictional force, and it is given 50 Newton versus displacement, okay. So that there was a little mistake, just correct it. The plot of applied force is shown in the figure, okay. So this is I have shown in the figure. This is the force applied up to, she gives the force and it is reaches up to the x equal to 20, okay. The total displacement is 20 meter and the force is applied at this junction is 50 Newton, okay. So this is 50 Newton, 100 Newton, and this is the negative force, okay, and this is displacement. The force is in the Newton. At x is equal to 20 meter, F is equal to 50 Newton. So as I said that at x is equal to 20, so this displacement is 20 meter, the force is 50 Newton, okay. We are given that friction force F is magnitude of F equal to 50 Newton, okay. It is given to us in the question. It opposes motion and acts in a direction opposite to force F, okay. So it is opposing the force. It is shown in the negative side of the force axis. So in this force axis, this is my force axis, this is the frictional force shown in the negative side. The work done by woman is work done by the force Wf is equal to area of ABCD, this area ABCD, and area of the trapezium CEID. This is the work done, okay. Work done by the woman is the area of ABCD, this rectangle, and the trapezium CDIE, okay. These two, this is trapezium and this is rectangle. So that is the total work done by the woman. So this area of the ABCD, we can say that length into width, right? So this 100 into 10. So you can write 100 into 10. Plus this area of trapezium, we know that half into sum of the parallel side into one of the side, right? Sum of the two sides plus the perpendicular distance between them. So here the two parallel sides are this and these two are parallel side, right? And this side is, you can say it is from 0 to 100. So this distance will be 100 and this distance will be 50 because it is up to here. So this sum of the two parallel side, that is 50. So 50 and 100. So you can say 100 plus 50. And the perpendicular distance. So perpendicular distance between these two parallel lines will be 10 to 20. So it is, the distance will be 10. So into 10 and it is divided by 2, right? That is the formula for finding the area of the trapezium. So 100 into 10 is 1000 plus this to simplify, you get it as 750. Okay, sum up together you get 1750 joule. So this is the work done by the woman. Now work done by friction force Wf is equal to area of a rectangle AFGH, this negative part, okay, negative force AGHI, okay, this area. So WF, the small f we are considering here as the friction force, equal to minus of 50 into 20, the area of this rectangle. So 50 and this 20, but this is negative, so 50 and this 0 to 20, so 20. So length into width, so that is minus 50 into 20, which gives you minus 1000 joule. So that is solution for example 6.5. We found the work done and the graph which we have plotted here. We'll keep this much for today. Thank you very much.